Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to get the show started in just a few moments. As always, a friendly reminder that this is a free concert. Do not feel obligated to tip, but if you'd like to do so to show appreciation, there are links going in all of the various chats right now. Also, do not forget that there is still time to pre-order a numbered and signed first edition copy of Don's book. The link for that will go in the chat in just a moment as well. Thank you for your patience. We'll see you shortly.
Hey, look at you. Hello, everyone. Hey, let me put you in gallery. Let me look at you. Welcome. Make some noise. Let me hear you. Let me feel you. Unmute yourselves. Go ahead. Alan, how are you, buddy? Hi, Marsha. Look at everyone coming. Wow. Alan, you feeling better, buddy?
A little bit.
Good. See, yeah, all right. So take it easy and don't breathe on anybody in the squares over there. You haven't been feeling. All right. Sarah, you doing okay?
All good, my friend. All good.
Yeah, Sarah, do you have some fires around you? Am I understanding that? Is that you still in the fire zone out there?
Yeah, there's a big fire in Sequoia National Park, which is south of us. We're not really in any danger from the fire. It's just the smoke, but we had glorious rain. We had glorious rain, and it drove out all the smoke and certainly helped with the fire. It's still burning though,
Yeah.
so but we're doing okay.
All right. So, this little group that's here, people watching on other platforms, you're welcome to come over here where I can see you and hear you. But you guys, if you just like, it's like my core group, the group I missed for 14 weeks when I wasn't doing this. So just put in the chat anything that you want me to play for you, and I'm happy to do it. I overheard a man complaining how his 401k was not performing quite how he would like it to. As he sipped his double latte and continued to complain, I thought about that day a million years ago in 1982. We were living in the shack with the outhouse in the back. If I'm not mistaken, you were pregnant too. We thought it might be funny to count all of our money and discuss the investing we could do. We pulled our pockets inside out, pulled the cushions off the couch, stuck our fingers way down deep inside. Then we emptied out the pockets of the jackets in our closet, but not a single penny did we find. So after the realization our financial situation was not conducive to investment at this time, we decided to invest in what we've always done best. Danced around the kitchen for a while, we do the victory dance. Life is such a mess, we don't know what else to do. We do the victory dance when being penniless became literal to me and you. Well, you can jump off of a building, take a bunch of pills, you can walk around in a trance. But if you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, go on and do the victory dance. It's Thursday night, that's right. I got fired from a job I have been working at for 20 years faithfully. Oh dear, oh God, oh my, how will I ever survive without a corporation taking care of me? I was so stressed out. For weeks I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I didn't think a thing would ever turn my way. And then a couple months went by, I began to realize, man, I really hated working at that place. So I started working for myself, improved my mental health. Now I'm happier than I've ever been before. Oh dear, oh my, oh God, I should have quit that stupid job 19 years ago to do the victory dance. Well, my life forces me to go out on my own. And then I just declare victory, and I march my army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know. Some things are always left to chance. But if you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, go on and do the victory dance. When your life forces you to go out on your own, I say, just declare victory and then march your army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know. Some things are always left to chance. If you're a clerk or you're a farmer, work from home in your pajamas. If your health is getting worse, but you can still flirt with the nurse. If you lose your money, but you still got your honey. If you lose your honey, but you still got some money. If you find it hard to cope cause your kids are all on dope, don't surrender yet. Try not to forget in this game of life we're in. In this game of life we're in this game of life that we are in. If you don't die, you win. And the holograms are going wild. All right.
Boy, did I need that song.
Say that again?
Boy, did I need that song.
Oh, well, thank you. It's so nice to see you. You doing okay?
It's been a real difficult struggle the past couple months.
Well, you know what? Anything else I can play for you that will help? I'm happy to do it. I'm at your disposal here. So I'm
it's like you knew that I needed that song.
Oh man, you know, I'm totally in touch with my holograms tonight. Kara, how are you? Sarah, look, Red Sox, oh there you go. Red Sox, you know, you guys watching on gallery, you can see Sarah's got a Red Sox cup up there. That's because she's a townie, even though she's in California.
Go Sox!
Oh, okay, here we go. Let me just play a couple, then we'll see what kind of direction this thing takes tonight. The dad said, son, if you keep going on this way, bad report card, real bad report card, you're gonna wind up as a lumper on a cruise someday. I said, Dad, what's a lumper? I was laughing so hard, rolling on the floor. Dad, no one uses words like a lumper anymore. The guys are outside. It's Friday night. I gotta go. See you later, and thanks for the lecture. If you keep doing the things that you are doing, if the things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper down on the second chance crew. Me, Billy, Bob, Rick, and Ray, those were my drinking buddies. We were living for the party every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And don't forget Sunday. One by one they moved away from home. You know, the time went by, the next thing I know, I'm 31, I'm drinking with a bunch of 19-year-olds. What a loser. Man, what a loser if you keep on doing the things that you're doing. If all of these things you're doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper down on the second chance crew. Second chance people got a touch of gray, party their teens and their 20s away, but now they're sober, starting over in the 32. They're just so glad to be working on the second chance crew. Those pallets aren't gonna move themselves, lumber. That's right, you should have studied in school. I'm on up in the program, I know that's no surprise. I make the minimum wage, but at least I didn't die. You know my knees are aching and my back is sore. I've been dragging these ladders across a plywood floor. But Dad, I never wonder what a lumper is anymore. Cause I'm a lumper, dude. Keep doing the thing that you are doing. If these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper on the second chance crew. Smoke it, drink it, puff it up your nose while your education goes up in smoke. And when you're in your 30s and the party is through, saving you a seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. Saving you a seat at the meeting. Seat at the meeting. A seat at the meeting. It's a revival. That's right. A seat at the meeting. A seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. A seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. Very good. Nicely done.
Woo!
All right. Thank you. So, I just want to remind you, even if you're here on Zoom or no matter what platform you're on, if you can go ahead to my Facebook page and just share this, go ahead over to Dawn White's Facebook page and just share it. That's the way that it gets out the furthest and the most people see it. Here, Sarah. Because I was thinking of you, thinking that you might be breathing too much smoke out there, so you were on my mind. I was worrying about you. I brushed up on this one here, which I only play, seems like for you, once every 6 months or so. And that doesn't mean I know how to play it. Let's try that again. I am 64, she's 63. Our grandkids were over watching MTV. And there were women gyrating all over the screen with some amazing dance moves, if you know what I mean. There was a young man singing a song about love, while these women dance around him all shaking their stuff. I said, you don't think that I could handle the young wild girl? She said, there ain't enough Viagra in the whole wide world. And then she laughed that laugh that I love so well. It filled the room and it cast a spell. And while they sang about love on MTV, I sat and thought about what love means to me. Let's say you get married and you have a little boy, and for 3 sweet years he brings you love and joy. But before he turns 4, that kid gets sick, and Jesus comes to take him, takes him real quick. And when they lower him into that cold dark hole, they bury your heart and they bury your soul. And after that you walk around like you were still alive, but your heart is underground by that little kid's side. So how could you have known that your heart still lived inside the love of the mother of that little kid? And that when the time was perfect, she would plant the seed in the hole where your old heart used to be. And with the right amount of water, the right amount of sun, she'd bring you back among the living and back among the loved. Do you really think a love that is just about sex could ever grow you back a heart that was ripped from your chest? All these stupid young punks in the videos singing songs about love. What the hell do they know? Well, Well, don't get me wrong, I love to see women gyrating on my TV. It is exciting, it's erotic, it's amusing, it's fun. It is a whole lot of things, but it's sure not love. This love I have known cannot be explained. It is the kind that finds heaven through the terror and the pain. It is a glance, a whisper, a prayer, it's a smile. It's even some gentle gyrations, you know, every once in a while.
Woo! I love it, Don. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Woo!
That was awesome.
Love it.
I had to tell you, I would never play that song. It just was so, I just didn't think that people would like it, really. But Sarah, if you like it, it's good. All right, so I think I'm gonna have my printer keeps threatening to have my books for me. Somewhere around the 25th of October. We'll see about that, and we'll see if I get them, whether they have my words in them. Who knows, right? Everything has gone wrong from the beginning to the end of this process. So until I get them, but let me read something. Like, you guys that come all the time, you're not even gonna have to buy the book. I've read the whole thing to you here every Thursday. Fortunately, you all have you're all of a certain age, so the stuff.
Thanks for telling us that before we ordered, Don.
I'm not stupid.
It's all about the autograph, Don.
That's it, right? The autograph. It'll raise it at least 40 cents on eBay is my guess on that. At least a minimum of 40 cents. You're gonna profit on that. So
Maybe.
maybe. All right. So let me put this down for a second here, and so our guest poet today is Ellie Lepp, and I'm not sure how old she is, but she's 16 or 17 would be my guess, I guess. But so she's a teenager for sure, and it's going to be her first public performance. And she's a lovely poet, and I'm so thrilled about that. But I thought I would do a little teenager stuff here while thinking about her. So this is from my book. I'm not sure that I've read this. This will be the last piece of the book that I haven't read for you folks here. Nice. My career as a songwriter storyteller has benefited immeasurably from songs and stories I created about parenting teenagers. So I'd like you all to unmute here so I can hear and feel you. I especially like it when I'm reading. So if you're noisy or whatever, we'll mute you. But you all know how to act around here, right? So it just helps me when I'm reading to be able to hear you guys. My career as a songwriter storyteller has benefited immeasurably from songs and stories I created about parenting teenagers. For a while, it seemed like the subject would provide me an inexhaustible amount of quality material. Here are a few takeaways from the experience that have been tempered by time and the luxury of being able to see the kind of adults my teenagers grew to be. Are your teenagers driving you nuts? Good! That's what they're built for. If you have a teenager, that doesn't rebel against you, take him or her to a doctor. Because their inability to execute their primary function is damaged and in urgent need of repair. Doctor, please help us. This teenager is nice. We try our best, but she just won't rebel. She won't sneak out at night. She won't say she hates us. We leave whiskey in an unlocked cabinet and she won't drink it and replace what she has taken with water. We feel we failed as parents. Whatever shall we do? All right, that's enough of that. I don't think improv comedy riffing is going to help make this chapter a more enjoyable experience for the reader. I want to talk about the disproportionate effect that experiences engender within the unhardened cement of one's personalities when they occur during adolescence. But first, here is the only piece of information that I learned during my learned during my years on the peculiar and annoying battlefield of teenager raising that I can still offer with confidence. The garden analogy. The only thing you can be sure about your garden is that if you don't water it, nothing will grow. Conversely, all the water and care in the world won't guarantee a harvest. And most importantly, if you do tend your garden well and are blessed with a harvest, it will not arrive until autumn. It is a special kind of foolish to expect full-grown tomatoes to appear while you are watering tomato seeds. Picture this scenario. Your teenager does or says something so stupid that you begin to wonder if you might be dreaming. You pinch yourself, yelp, and succumb to the unfortunate fact that the situation before you is actually happening. You then patiently, methodically, and with great love and care explain in detail all the verifiable reasons why said teenager's current behavior or view is insane, and if practiced in the real world will terminate in a probation office at best or a casket at worst. Now imagine that your teenager looks you in the eye and says, "You know, I never really thought of it that way. Thank you so much for helping me to understand how wrong I was and how foolish my thinking on this matter has been. I am so grateful to you for taking the time to set me straight. As of this moment, I am going to change who I am. I shall turn a new leaf, abandon my prior view, and wholeheartedly adopt and implement the philosophy that you have so caringly explained, and never shall I return to the reckless worldview that your lecture has so meticulously deconstructed." I believe that if you ever heard these words from a teenager, that they would be marinated in sarcasm. Water them, keep them in the sun, and hope for a good harvest in the fall. That's all I've got. Hope it helps.
Oh, hey Don, we had a request in the chat from Marcia for B16 with me.
Seems like a perfect segue from that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Marcia, we're like zoned into each other today, you and I, all right? Our kids are grown, they're both in their 20s. They live at home, they are never gonna leave. Why should they go? They've got it good here, you know. Their food, their phone, their rent is free. They would have to be out of their minds to leave. But I was thinking, what if things were different? You know, living here at home with you and me. What if we decided we could act like they both did when they were in their teens? So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I've got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We will both get really drunk, but we'll put a big dent in her trunk. And we'll drive real fast on the thoroughfare. If we get a speeding ticket, hey, we won't care. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wiggle, Mom, climb out of this window. Come on out, be 16 with me. Picture our kids calling all of our friends up and asking them if they know where we are. Of course, all our friends will lie and say they ain't seen us all night. But we'll be standing right beside them while they're on the phone, smoking, drinking, carrying on when we come strolling home on Sunday morning. You know, around 10 o'clock while the neighbors walk to church. Our kids will ask us where we've been, and then they'll ask us again, and we will just make up a great big lie and swear that it's the truth until the day we die. And they'll be the ones trying to find the truth out. We'll be the ones who are lying through our teeth. And under pressure, we'll confess that we had unprotected sex. That will gross them out so much they might just start to think about moving out. Let that settle in for a second. If turnabout is fair play in this life, what better way to encourage them to leave than to give them both a dose of what it was like to live with them when they were in their teens. So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We will both get really drunk, we'll put a big dent in her trunk, and no one will know where we are until we come home in a police car. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild. They'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wiggle, mama, climb out of this window. Oh man, be careful, you are not anywhere near as young as you used to be. I should have brought a ladder probably. You know what? The kids are both drunk and passed out. How about we just hobble over and go out the front door? Come on out and be 16 with me. 'Cause I remember you when you were 16. You were the most beautiful thing that I had ever seen. So wake up, mama, wake up, mama, wake up, mama, be 16 with me.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so grateful to you all. You know, last week when this was over, I paid Brandon and I had grocery money. I haven't had grocery money to speak of in like 4 months, you know? So I really appreciate you all. I really do. So that last song reminded me of something. So I talked about being 16 with me. So I probably met Terry, I call her, when we were 16, but in high school. And we'd been together since I was 17. So she's a little bit older than me. So all of this writing, like, it did something to me. Like, we've been together forever. We're like an old married couple, basically, right? You know, like, we're everything you think of when you think of an old married couple, that's what we are. You know, we're a little bit cranky, a little sick of each other. You know what I mean? Like, all of that, right? But writing about all this stuff from way back in those days, it kicked this door open in my head where like youthful electrified romance like once lived. It was like when the door kicked open, it was dusty and there was cobwebs and shit in there, but it was still there. It was still a place there, right? And so I'm gonna read the foreword to the book here because it touches on that. And just to give you like I'm kind of newly in love. Like I keep thinking about her now as being 18 and you know, whatever. It's weird. 15 years ago, when I finished my first collection of short stories, memoirs of a sea student, I said I'd never write another book. I meant it. But since 50 is the new 30, I'm making the case that in years between books, 15 is the new never. Again, unmute when I'm reading like this because I just like hearing you. A man who willfully chose to spend his working years as an alarm installer, a folk singer, and a storyteller should not be surprised when in his golden years these noble endeavors failed to meet his fiscal retirement needs. I wrote this book because I needed the money. That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. It means that my financial realities and my dearth of options in that arena created a compelling argument for its creation. There are 5 stories here. The one about my dad and the hitchhiking one are both true, whatever that means. With the three others, I freed myself from the tyranny of truth-telling. I created characters by melding together the personalities and idiosyncrasies of different people I have met to fit the needs of the stories I wanted to tell. It was exhilarating. Writing fiction, it turns out, is a freeing and enjoyable enterprise. By 2020, I had written 4 stories, approximately half a book. Then good old COVID-19 showed up and was kind enough to grant me the 2 things I needed to finish the other half. The inability to earn money via the shutting down of performance venues and the gobs of free time that new reality so considerately bestowed upon my world. That's when the stories from the 3 years I spent hitchhiking around North America with my then girlfriend and now wife submitted their applications for the job. They had done so many times in the past and were always denied because they couldn't or wouldn't answer the one crucial question: what is the story? I would rather go broke than write a glorified blog on being a hitchhiker. Got a ride by some freaks in a van in Albuquerque. They had killer weed. A trucker drove us all the way to San Francisco. The cops hassled us in Kansas. But I needed the money, and I needed the pages. After much reflection, a story worthy of consideration emerged. It was about America in the mid-70s and a method of travel that is lost to history, a story of uncompromised freedom, of how the road opened our world to unlimited possibilities, and it is a love story. For several months now, I've been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to write about these adventures. I do so until my eyeballs hurt and my mind has turned to mush. That's a lot of time to be thinking about the extraordinarily early years of my long history with the blue-eyed, raven-haired, free-spirited, modern-day pioneer woman of my dreams. At some point, the process began to reignite the part of my brain where high-voltage youthful romance once burned. One day, after yet another 8 hours of writing about the formative early years of our relationship, I emerged from my office. I sat beside my wife on the couch and gave her a long kiss. It freaked her out. She was sure that I had gone over the edge. So go ahead and start reading the book. I hope you enjoy it. My pioneer woman is working on a computer in the living room. While you're learning about who we were and the adventures we had back when an outstretched thumb was our vehicle for escaping the life we had known and discovering the unlimited possibilities of who we could become, I'm going to ask her if she wants to kiss me like she did when we were 18 and sleeping under the stars beside the Alcan Highway in the Yukon Territory with nothing to think about except spontaneity and adventure. Ta-da!
Hey, Don! All right.
Nice. Thank you.
Very nice.
It's getting hot in here, ain't it? It's getting hot in here. Neil, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Good to see you. Sorry I'm a little late, but oh well, it's me.
Want me to give you a review? Let's see. We started out. I played
The playlist.
I played that song about the victory dance, and then
Oh, I love that song.
yeah. Want me to play it again, Neil? I'll do it for you.
Sure, well, no, everybody loves everything you do, my friend.
Everybody does not love everything I do. There is never a more falser statement been spoken in all the world, in all the history of all the world. Everyone loves everything about what you do. Man, there is nothing. That is the most untrue thing I've ever heard. All right, now, let's see. Let me play a couple. Do we have anybody else want to hear anything? Just yell it out. Meg, how are you? Let me talk to you for a minute. Meg, are you doing okay?
Good. How are you? As
Good. Everything okay in your world?
far as I know, yeah.
As far as you know, you want to take a little survey and get back to us?
Yeah. I don't know enough people in the room well enough for them to answer the survey. So,
You know, I know this group good enough. They'll just speculate.
yeah.
Or we'll make something up.
Yeah, don't
There you
just go
go.
by how your little square looks. Well,
Let's see, my youngest brother got remarried. He had the only sunny day in July for his outdoor wedding.
Not bad.
One of my nieces had a child. We weren't quite sure if it was a boy or a girl. It took a while to decipher by the name, but after a week, we got the answer. So,
All right.
but that's about it. That's about the excitement I've had in my life. So,
Well, none of it sounds too. That all sounds good to me. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I'm glad to see you all. Kevin wants to hear this. Happy to play it for him. Rascal is a dog, he ain't too bright, me a rascal. We're sitting on the couch last night when my woman come in and she started to cry. She looked at us with such terror in her eyes. She said, I have raised these children for 18 years. Now they're growing up, moving out of here. And my big reward for all that I've been through is this dog as dumb as mud. And you, yippee-yahoo. The rascal looked at me in disbelief. He said, she can't be talking about you and me. She's got us to spend the rest of her whole life with. Would you please tell her how incredibly lucky she is? And I said, who's gonna love you any better than this? We'll wake you up every morning with big wet kisses when we hear the police sirens in your neighborhood. We throw our heads up in the air and we howl for you. Oh! I think we should do that. When we get to the end, everybody howl, okay? What the hell does it matter? Latency, whatever. Does anybody care about that anymore? It's cool. You gotta admit that's pretty cool. I don't believe we had succeeded in convincing her of the outrageous good fortune that had befallen her. In fact, instead of looking happy as she could be, she looked a little bit, well, suicidal to me. But hey, kids go to college, kids move away, but dogs and husbands, that's who stays. To you it seems like a big trick of fate, but me and Rascal don't see it that way. We're thinking, ain't we cuddly? Ain't we cute? We're both real funny, both real true. There's another thing about us that's very cool. If you scratch us on our belly, our left leg moves. And you have got to admit that's cool. Oh. 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 Well, okay, so maybe we ain't that smart. We're a couple of mutts with a lot of heart. But no one could ever love you better or give you more loyalty than this dog as dumb as mud, than this dog as dumb as mud, than this dog as dumb as mud. And me, how lucky can one girl be? She's got a dog like you and a man like me. We'll be together well into this next century. Put that knife down, baby. Rascal, I don't think that Mom is too happy. Maybe we should sing for her. She always likes that. And it appears to be more than a handful of potential canines on my computer screen here this evening. Maybe if we told them about the domestic difficulties that we're having on the home front, they might chime in and howl along. In a lot of, before COVID, if you saw a guy in his room by himself, howling with a bunch of people on the screen, it might have drawn some attention, but all that shit's out the window now. Nobody cares what anybody does anymore. The sounds that emerge from people, it just doesn't draw any attention at all. So unmute yourselves and let's just howl like the moon was full. All right? I mean, we're trying our best just to just to be human, just to be weird, just to feel like we're all together. And this seems like it might be good. All right, I'll count to 3, and then there'll be a delay. So consider it 4. then we'll all howl with a latent delay with everybody. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
Yeah, good.
Look at that.
All right. Love it.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna play one more song here. I'm gonna send this out to Mama Lep. I know that she's her kids are getting older now. That so she's looking at pushing them both out into the world here. We know what that's about. So this is a song I wrote many years ago when my daughter was probably 16, maybe something like that. But I sang it at her wedding. My daughter got married in Costa Rica. So she did it for a bunch of reasons. One, it was just an amazing place. But also, she wanted to make sure that only people came to her wedding who really wanted to come. And she eliminated a lot of people that she likes, but but she knew they didn't have a passport, you know what I mean? Or they were on a work release program or whatever. So it was like a natural filter for her to not have to say, no, you can't come, but knowing that it would be sort of tight. And my son played guitar on this, and I played it at the wedding. It was one of the 3 really emotional performances of my life. I performed at both of my parents' funerals also. But this was the song that I sang for my daughter at her wedding, which I had written years before. It's called Little Bird. A little bird perched on a mountainside, little wings wondering if they can fly. A pretty little song singing questions to the breeze. Can these little wings really bring me to my dreams? The wind is there to dance upon, the rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. And when you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you blue is the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like you. She knows you love her, she knows you're right, that there really is danger in the wind at night. And she sees how you worry every single time she leaves. But in her dreams at night, it's only blue sky that she sees. The wind is there to dance upon, the rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. And when you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you blue is the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like Now you stand behind her on the mountainside. When she looks back, you see the whole world in her eyes. When the wind lifts her skyward, her song is on the breeze. Singing, can these little wings really bring me to my dreams? The wind is there to dance upon. The rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. When you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you blue is the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like you. Of little birds who sing like you.
That's beautiful, Dawn. Really beautiful.
Beautiful, Dawn.
What
Beautiful.
was that like singing that at your daughter's wedding?
It almost killed me. I almost died from it. It was almost, it was all I could do to get through it. But I had sang at both of my parents' funerals, so I learned something as a performer. Bill will tell you this. Anybody who performs, I think, is that it's really bad if you break down when you're singing a song, because instead of the audience feeling their own emotions about whatever the thing means to them, they start to worry about you, and that's kind of a felony, I think, in the performing world. So I've taught myself to push, to not do that, to not make it about me, which is what happens when you cry. But I was pretty close to crying at that one. I'm just like a old softie, or like an old brickyard softie. So when we've been doing this thing, I think we've done 70 of these. I took the summer off to write my book, but I instituted, maybe around show 40 or so, the poets or the spoken word corner. And the reason I did that is that I so enjoyed all of you who come all the time. I wanted to show you some of my other worlds. My world is separated. It used to be able to keep them all separated. I had folk singer places I would go play. I did storytelling. I did poetry. And I had suburban audiences that I knew what not to say to them. I had urban audiences I knew what not to say to them. I had religious audiences I knew. It was beautifully put together, or they were all separated. Now the stupid internet just mashed them all together like this. So I don't have it's just all going out to everybody. But anyway, we instituted this, and this is a chance for me to introduce you to spoken word artists that you may or may not know. And tonight, it's really special. One of the reasons that I started this thing called Speak Up, which has been running for 12 years now here in Lynn. It's a spoken word open mic where people can say whatever they want. There's no language restrictions, nothing like that. One of the things that I like the most about that is when I get to introduce somebody who hasn't performed a lot or at all before, and I think it's a really cool thing if you're in the position to do so, to be able to create a safe environment for somebody to perform for the first time or early, so that they can find their voice. Because if they have a bad experience the first time, chances are they won't do it again. It's very traumatizing. But if they have a good experience, if you create a space where they'll be treated with respect, they can get that first one behind them, and then that voice is unleashed into the world, and you never know what will come of that. And so tonight, I'm going to introduce a young poet who has a fantastic style and voice, and I'm really interested to see how the years unfold for her and how her work develops. But this, I believe she told me, is her first time performing for the public. So I want you to all unmute yourselves for a second, and give her just the most wonderful, warm round of applause all the way from West Virginia. Please welcome Ellie Lepp.
Hey, Ellie.
All right, Ellie.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so Ellie, I think why don't you just go ahead and do a couple of pieces, and if you're around later, around 9 o'clock, you can do something else, and then we'll chat a little bit. Then, does that sound good to you?
That sounds perfect.
All right, go ahead. Let him have it. Oh, you
Ever, I ever really wrote, and I'm excited to share it with you guys, and then I'll share a few more after it. The snow falls whether I sleep or not. Nothing poetic about it, really, just the world being a bit too cold for rain. It's good that snow doesn't depend on my rest because I am restless lately, full of water and rock and words I don't know how to pronounce. My mother was telling her friend 3 years ago after my grandfather's death that dealing with loss is strange, that the sadness never really leaves, but it gets more bearable. When I get sad, I shower. Sometimes it makes the sadness go away. It's cold, and that poems don't have to be poetic, and that sometimes you lose things, but you always gain them back in bearability or frozen flakes or sadness. Death is not an inherently sad thing. The world would be sad if you couldn't die, I think. My sibling says that they're coming up with a way to stop aging, and I don't know who they are, but I don't think we'd get along. I like the idea of death in a way, I suppose. Every living I don't know if I learned that from the world, though, or from my mother. I'll try to sleep again tonight, and the snow will fall outside my window like tiny flakes of requited love. Death is not a sad thing, and this is why. Thank you.
Woo! All right, Ellie. Woo! Very nice. Very nice.
Do you have some more for us, Ellie, or? Oh.
Okay. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is being awful. If I cut out, I will be back at some point. He put heat on the wound to see what would grow. Vine sprouting from gore, flower from fire, tree bark, pine needle, evergreen. He was unsure of what it all meant, but he knew it meant something was growing at least. Bruised, bleeding, the soil was there, fundamentally, organic, made for life, for living things rather, for vines sprouting from gore, flower from fire, tree bark, pine needle, evergreen.
Yay!
This is called an anthology on roadkill. And full of fire and full of flesh and filling with rust, slowly and so very surely, orange red and hole-ridden rib cage, roadside, fork tongue, I miss you. I never knew you, but I miss the world for you. The parts you never got to see, my bug-infested and brittle friend. For you, my blood-soaked child, I'll look at it for you. Just give me time. And a world full of color, blissful, sweet, it exists sometimes, in passing moments, holding on tight before slipping away. Rib cage beside the road, no meat or flesh, sun-bleached white on I-77 North, Georgia to West Virginia. Death on the shoulder, rumble strips separate. Chlorophyll stomach, lay down to rest. Rise again next June when eroded calcium drenches the earth, cradling you, a baby, in the gentle way that only things that have died and are no longer dead can. Hold on tight, but don't be scared to slip away.
Beautiful.
Ellie, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. That was really
Very nice.
That's
Very
great.
nice, Ellie. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Ellie. That was great. Keep that writing. You have a gift.
Thank you.
Ellie, thank you so much. Do you mind telling us how old you are? Is it?
I am 17. I'm going to be 18 in a month.
Well, I have some poems from when I was 18. I don't think they could stand up to you at all. they, weren't, they weren't very good at all. So you're really, really creating some wonderful stuff in this world, and I can't wait to see how the future, what the future has in store for you. You have a tremendous gift for words and a very insightful eye for the world as well. So happy to have. Created this space for you. Let's make this young woman know how much we appreciate her and what she's doing in this world, everybody.
That was awesome. That was a little more.
So Ellie, you have there's the way people can find out about you, a Facebook page, and something else, some other way.
I do. I believe that they're posted in the chat. I have a Facebook and I have an Instagram that you can find all of my poetry.
All right, so check her out. You saw her here first, ladies and gentlemen. So Ellie, if you're around at 9 o'clock, we'd love to hear some more from you. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. I'm going to take just a minute and go splash some water on my face. And if you can donate to the grocery bill around here, that would be great. But you don't have to if you don't want to. I love you whether you have money or not. Nobody's had more of their life without money than me. So I feel you. I'll be back in a minute. I'll play till about 20 past or thereabouts. And then we'll have our after party with Bill Harley and Matt Watroba coming in from Michigan, and maybe if Ellie's around, she'll do some more poetry for us. I'll be back in just a bit, you guys. Hello, everyone. Hi.
Oh,
Nice to see you, Moira in Detroit. Welcome, everybody. So I'm going to be in Detroit, Moira, assuming that the world doesn't fall apart between now and then, on December 3rd, playing at Greenwood in Ann Arbor. So
I know.
it's going to be my first time on an airplane in 2 years. I'm happy and just a little nervous about the whole thing. But I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long time.
You and me both.
Yeah, well, Matt Watroba is going to be here soon, so we'll get to do some Michigan talk then. So, here, Kara, here you go. Shandy's grandma went to Woodstock back in 1969. She kept her ticket stub and a chunk of mud, had her house in a little shrine. She was always the girl in the hippie dress, twirling at the shows by the Grateful Dead. If you ask her about it, man, you better sit down. Grandma will talk the gears right off your head. If you get to talk about the Grateful Dead, the Summer of Love or the Kool-Aid acid test. Jenny was always in the glory when she could hear the stories from her grandma's hippie friends about peace and love, taking care of one another, how great it all was back then. And at night she would dream of being on the bus with Casey, seeing Jimmy in 69. But when she wasn't dreaming, she always had the feeling that somehow she'd been born in the wrong time. You know you should have been 20 in 1969. Oh, the gray-haired hippies say that all the time. But the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, man, they're having all kinds of fun singing. There's only 1 minute if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love your grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then. It's gonna take a big leap of faith if you really want to find your tribe. Those were the first words that Jenny heard in a song that she found online. And that summer she drove all the way to Minnesota to the Shangri-La Festival. And there they all were, all the people like her, who grew up believing that they were all alone. They said, hey girl, welcome home. Because the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are driving down the road all the way to Minnesota, having all kinds of fun singing. Jimmy and Jerry are dead and buried and they're never coming back again. Love your grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock in 1969. Since then she believed there was never gonna be a better time, and that's alright. But if you don't take a big leap of faith and get out there and find your scene, it will pass you by while you are trying to find your grandma's long gone Woodstock memories. Her Woodstock memories. While the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, man, they're having all kinds of fun singing. There's only 1 minute if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love your grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then.
Oh, Don, I love it.
So So, Jen, how you doing, girl? Michigan, how are ya? Look at you, and that's my number one fan there, Eleanor, right? She's doing okay? Unmute yourself so I can hear you. Talk to me. How's my favorite fan doing?
Good.
Yeah, and how's her mother?
Good.
So,
Good.
so those of you that don't know, Jen's daughter was raised on "I Know What Love Is." That song. There's a great video that she did where she's playing it in the car, and then she changes the channel, and the baby freaks out, right? Like totally freaks out. Like you're messing with my jam, is what she's saying, right? She's saying you're screwing up my jam, man. So I haven't seen you for a while. I'm gonna come out there, I think in December, so maybe I'll get to see you. There is a little girl with pretty curls. She's about 5 years old, and she's waiting at the gate for her dad to come home. When he pulls around the corner in his shiny white car, she feels the magic light up in her heart. And he picks her up and he holds her. He says he missed her. He's glad that she is here. As the child lays her head on her shoulder, she whispers these words in her ear. Daddy, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now she is 20 and there's plenty of love everywhere. She's getting married, so her family and her friends are all there. They've gathered this morning to stand at her side as she waves goodbye to this time in her life. And they each take a moment to hold her and to tell her what she means to them. In a world that seems to keep getting colder, she has been blessed with a warm family and friends. She says, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. No, they are older and no one told her it got crazy like this. They're going to night school, they're working jobs too. They're raising 3 kids. The youngest one is crying with a bruise on her knee. She needs attention and she needs sympathy. And when she picks her up and she holds her, that old magic lights up in her heart. And as the child lays her head on her shoulder, she knows exactly why they're working so hard. Little girl, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. Now they are 60 and their history spans 40 odd years. They have buried their parents, now their grandkids are here. There's something about the way they look in each other's eyes that speaks softly about the meaning of a life. And when he puts his arm out to hold her, it feels so familiar and warm. She thinks love is an expanding endeavor till your last breath from the moment you're born. Now she is 80 and she hates being in this nursing home. Her man's been gone now for a long while and she feels so alone. She closes her eyes and she begins to pray that a little comfort might just come her way. God lifts her up and he holds her, and she remembers this feeling she has. She is not a woman whose life is almost over. She's a little girl being held by her dad. God, I know exactly what love is. Love is real simple and true. Love is this feeling my heart gets when I'm being held close by you. And God love is real simple. Love is real simple. Love is real simple and true.
Beautiful, Dawn.
Beautiful.
I love that song.
Yay, Eleanor.
Thank you, Dawn.
Good job as always, Don.
I hope you were watching Eleanor and Jen during this.
Was she signing? Jen, was she signing? Yeah. Oh, she knows
So,
sign language.
We're teaching her sign and the sign for music, and we put a D with it so she can ask for Don, and that's what she was doing the opposite of. She's trying to get it down. She's trying.
That might have been one of the best experiences I had online. Like,
That was remarkable, Don. You were singing to one square on your screen.
yeah, I
And I
saw
mean, the rest of us were just witnessing you
Yeah,
singing to Eleanor.
you're
And
all
she
like-
only had eyes for you.
Yeah, it's right back at you too. Like
Yeah.
we were all just voyeurs to that. Like it was.
Oh, yeah.
That was just me and Eleanor. We were connecting. That's right.
Ever since she was, I don't know, when you started doing the concerts, you know, she's a month or two old. Every time you sang, she just boom and just watched the entire time.
Brandon, do you have the photograph from the Greenwood of? There it is, right there. Can you highlight that?
Oh my God.
Put it up, spotlight it. There you go. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
There she is. And that's no joke either. That kid is my biggest fan. The problem is I'm not going to live long enough to make any money off her. It's a huge problem for me. She visited me in the nursing home. This is what's left of that guy you used to love.
You can sing at her wedding, Don.
You know, maybe if I take my vitamins and you know. Let me play one more song for you all. I don't want to slobber on you, as it were, but I love you. This means so much to me. Those of you that have been able to donate, it really matters. Like I took that money last week, paid Brandon, and we went. I was thinking about Kara in the dairy aisle and Marcia in the cereal aisle. And, like I dedicated an aisle to everybody who donated. Thinking about you when I was buying, fish for dinner. So I appreciate it. I know I ended with this last week, but I'm going to do it again this week. This is called That's What Makes You Beautiful. It's for everybody out there who's struggling a little bit. Remember, what you've overcome in your life is significant, and it's not unrecognized. I recognize it. And thanks, everybody. After this, take a 2-minute break, maybe 1 minute, and then we'll have our after party and chat with Bill and Matt, and maybe Ellie will be back. We'll see. And, all right. Yeah. You were taught by a world that empathy and kindness were the kind of things that make a person weak. They said push and grab and fight every minute of your life and trample those between you and what you believe you need. But from the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity, singing cruelty is always weak, but love and empathy are strong enough to break the chains of selfishness and greed. Gentle is the strongest thing to be. You know it is not your fault that heroin and alcohol made them both too ill to give their children what they really need. But it sure would have been nice to be encouraged once or twice, to feel safe at night, or to have a life with just a little normalcy. But from the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity. When you feel hatred in your heart, you just remember who you are, and that underneath the weight of hate, your heart cannot be free. Forgiving is the stronger thing to be. It's not the color of your eyes, it's not your hypnotizing smile, it's not any of the many things that everyone can see. It's the way you always knew what they told you wasn't true. It's how you made yourself the person that they taught you not to be. That's what makes you beautiful to me. A young man's eyes see beauty in what is on the surface, not within. He will walk past what is beautiful to be near the thing that shines. But these old man's eyes find beauty in the story, in the journey. They have seen too much to be fooled by what attracts a young man's eyes. From the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity. There was nothing that this world could do to crush the love inside of you. Under neglect, abuse, and selfishness, you were caring, kind, and generous. It is the lonely road that brought you here. It's how all alone you persevered. It's the defiance and tenacity of your heart song of humanity. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful to me. Thanks for another good Thursday.
Hey, thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Beautiful, my friend.
All right. So, Thank you, everybody. Those of you watching on other platforms, you're welcome to come on over here and yap at me in between songs within reason. And the information for that is in your chats on YouTube and Facebook. Those of you that are here, hang around. I'm going to take 2 minutes. If you can donate to the grocery bill, that's great, but don't worry about it. And I'll be back, and we'll chat with Mr. Bill Harley, and we'll see if Matt Watroba shows up like he said he was gonna, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back in just just a minute or so. All right, here we are. It's after party time. This is where we get to gossip and everything. It's good stuff. All right, can you hear me, everybody? Let's go like this. All right. So let's see. I see the Watrobas are in the house. Hello, Watrobas. Bill Harley, do you know Matt Watroba? Do you guys know each other?
I don't think we've ever met. I just only know the name. I only know the rumor or the legend.
I too know a lot of rumors about Bill Harley. I've played his stuff on my radio show a lot.
Oh, there you go. A natural.
It's a scrape in the bottom of the barrel. I'm so sorry.
And any friend of Don's, well, you know.
You'll play the music anyway. Well, Matt, why don't you, Kim, are you going to sing along? Or
yeah, you know what? There's just not enough harmony on Zoom, so I thought we'd ask Mrs. Watroba to sing with me, if that's okay.
That sounds great. So why don't you go ahead and we'll go around a few times. And this is a dear, just so you know, Matt Watroba is a dear friend of mine for many reasons, not the least of which is that he has the same baseball addiction as me. And we went down to see the Toledo Mud Hens. How many people can say that they drove from Michigan to Toledo to see the Mud Hens? I can say it, and I can say I did it with Matt Watroba. And him and his wife are just the most lovely people, and I can't wait to see you all, perhaps in December. All right, so go ahead, you guys. Take it away.
Well, I was glad to see that the Midwest is kind of represented here in Detroit and in Michigan, but I thought maybe we'd play a very Midwestern song filled with Midwestern images. We're also from the Detroit area. This song, clearly from Indiana, though, it was written by a wonderful songwriter by the name of Craig Johnson. Just a sweet little Midwestern tune. I've been sitting by the Ohio, watching the towboats rolling up slow, thinking about the places we used to go. hillside, summertime. Jars we filled with fireflies. I remember you and I say it's been a long, long time.
Rain across the bottomland, broken stone from the old mill dam, west wind blowing in the dawning day, enough to blow the blues my way.
I've been sitting by the Ohio, watching the towboats rolling up slow, thinking about the places we used to go. You've been on my mind. Rusty rail, an old river town, whistle blow in New Orleans bound, cornfields waiting for the plow. All the things I can't tell you now. I've been sitting by the Ohio, watching the towboats rolling up slow, thinking about the places we used to go. You've been on my mind.
Indiana country roads, winter snow so deep and cold, new moon's arms cradle the old.
Come home songs on the radio. I've been sitting by the Ohio, watching the towboats rolling up slow, thinking about the places we used to go. You've been on my mind. You've been on my mind.
Oh man. Oh man.
Oh, that was so beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Great, you guys.
Love it.
Man, well, you're right. We have been starving for harmony. Zoom is like a harmony murderer, isn't it? Like Zoom has got a chip on its shoulder against harmony.
Guys sounded wonderful.
That was just beautiful. So you guys will hang around and we'll chat a little bit next time through.
Yeah, yeah.
One more time for Mr. and Mrs. Watroba, everybody.
Big hug in the house.
All right, another friend of mine with a baseball addiction, only he's local, and so his team's doing good. No offense, Matt, but so he'll call me and we'll commiserate through text while the Red Sox are playing. He told me the other day that I had a pre-2004 PTSD Red Sox Yankees thing going. And he's right. I told him the Yankees are like I'm like a dog that's been hit too much, and the Yankees are like a rolled up newspaper to me.
That was a much better metaphor. Although Don did say after the Red Sox beat the Yankees, this was my World Series.
That's right.
So, yeah.
I'm good. Whatever happens now, I'm good.
Yeah.
If you're from New York, I love you. You know, it's just I got PTSD from what you guys did to me all the way up to 2004 from when I was a little leaguer. So there you go.
You know, Don, since you're metaphoring, I guess my Tigers would be the newspaper you guys piss on.
Yeah.
That was a good one, Matt. Good
I
one.
think we better stop. It's just gonna
Yeah,
get worse.
we're hitting the wall here.
This can't end
Yeah,
well.
Matt and I went to not Tiger Stadium. What's it called? Comerica Park too, right?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, the Triples Park. All right. So, Bill, why don't you play something, and then next time through we'll talk about your book and all that. Does that sound
that's
good?
good. That's good. Well, I got to. It's great to hear you guys sing. I've lived in New England since I was 18, but I grew up in the Midwest in Indiana. So as soon as I hear that, it's like there's part of me feels like you never get rid of that. So, and I've already changed what I was going to do because you were kind of trashing Ram Dass, and it just
trashing. Come on,
So
I was worshiping the guy.
A couple years ago, and however, I say a couple, and all of a sudden I realized it was 12. That's we had a bunch of stuff going on in our house and family and all this, like everybody does. And we got 2 notes from a friend of ours. The first was a card. It was a haiku from like Basho that said, "My house having burnt down, I can now see the moon." But the other one was a quote from Ram Dass, who someone had said was maybe it was originally a Rumi line, and I took that line, and I wrote this song. Don't go thinking that there's something you owe me. We're all walking each other home. You think I'm keeping score, then you don't know me. We're all walking each other home. I know you're blue. I've been there too. So don't go thinking that you're all alone. We're all walking each other home. You know, we're all walking each other home. The night is dark and the road is long. We're all walking each other home. When you're thinking that you're not that strong, we're all walking each other home. When you lose heart, I'll take your part. When your life is sinking like a stone, we're all walking each other home. We're all walking each other home. When you're thinking that all your dreams have died, remember there's someone at your side. When we stumble and we lose our way, we're all walking each other home. When we're dreaming of some brighter day, we're all walking each other home. When you can't stand, reach out your hand. 'Cause deep inside, haven't we always known we're all walking each other home? You know we're all walking each other. When you can't stand, we're all walking each other. I'll take your hand, we're all walking each other. When you lose heart, we're all walking each other. I'll take your part, we're all walking each other home. Because we're all walking each other home.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, Bill.
Oh, Bill, I could have listened
Oh,
to that
yeah,
all
that
night.
was nice.
That was
Thank you.
beautiful.
Great.
Loved it.
That was excellent, Bill. And by the way, I'm not dissing Ram Dass in that song. He's the hero in that song. You know. Also, just so you know, I have a good Ram Dass moment. I was singing a song called I forget what it's called, but at the end of it, I was yakking about. It was on the radio in Tampa and live, and I was saying, you know, when I was hitchhiking and I was talking about Ram Dass and whatever, right? I think the line was. But all that hitchhiking and Ram Dassiness gave all my friends, you know, it was fun for 3 or 4 years, but it was gave everybody I knew a 3-year economic head start. It was some kind of line like that. And then I
got to tell you, I mean, when I was in college, I was like doing this deep dive and all this spiritual stuff, and also trying to figure out what to do with like the Vietnam War and all that, trying to explore all that stuff. But that Be Here Now book with the crinkly brown paper, man, I'm telling you, that was the book for a while.
We carried it in our backpack.
It was funky.
He sent me an email. It was 2 words. It said "Still Here," which was the title of one of his books, actually, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I got an email from Ram Dass from mouthing off about him on the radio. I think he lived in Tampa, or he was down there somewhere. All right, one more time for Bill Harley. Bill, we'll go around one more time with.
Oh, thanks so much.
All right, Ellie. So normally I would bring my poet in sort of one more time, but if you're up for it, we'll just go around. You know, you'll be like the 3rd person in the round. If you want to do a piece, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, let's bring back our newly thrown upon the world poet here. You know, she's an experienced performer now. All right, Ellie. You know, I'm gonna send you $1,000 to fix your internet down there. That's what I'm gonna do for you.
Please do. No, I'm performing.
Just tell your dad to get it together.
I'll do the dishes later. I'm performing.
Okay, this poem doesn't have a title. Welcome to my poetry. The man greets me, Ali, a smile in his voice. Ali with an A. That's who I am to him, all veggie lo mein and broccoli and garlic sauce and Ali with an A. He puts me on hold, but doesn't mute the phone. I can hear him talking to a cook, and I can't understand the words, but I understand that he's laughing, and the cook is laughing, and I'm laughing, and all I can do is smile. I don't think he knows how much I think of him. He greets me every time with a warm smile. He knows my order by heart. When I come in without my best friend, he asks about her. I never realized what would be my childhood until recently. Sitting by the buffet with my dad late night during the full of Lutt family childhoods one way or another. Tonight we eat in front of the TV in my house. The buffet is still closed, but it'll be open once things blow over. Tonight, I ate my broccoli and rice, and a commercial break turns into a story from my dad about when he was a kid, when he was a paper boy back home. I never realized what would be my childhood until recently. The buffet is still closed, and I don't know how many more snowy nights I'll get to spend there. But I'm hearing my dad tell me a story, and he's laughing, and I'm laughing, and all I can do is smile.
Yay.
Yay, Ellie!
All right,
Ellie!
And so those of you that, you know, if you can jump on her page and you can read her poetry and all that. So thank you, Ellie. And if you're around, we'll just keep going around. And, you know, you can do the same poem over and over again. Maybe the parts that cut out will be the parts we missed the last time.
It'll be a different poem every time.
Your words are beautiful. You're doing a great job. So you just hang around and we'll insert you in one more time around. All right, Mr. Wetruba, let's talk a little bit. So, so those of you that don't know, Matt Wetruba and Scott Alaric are 2 people that I know who are involved in folk music so much that I just had to put them together. And when I did, I put them in the same building, and like all of a sudden people started clogging, and then there was so much folk happening there. Matt has interviewed on his radio show every folk singer that ever lived, including some that maybe they didn't ever lived. I don't know, but he Pete Seeger 2 or 3 times, or 3 times maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and but everybody. So he's keeping the tradition alive. His radio show, when I first met him, was called Folks Like Us. It had ran for 20 something years. Matt, is that right?
That's right. And currently, you can stream the show I'm doing out of Michigan State Public Radio on Sunday nights from 6 to 8. It's WKAR, like spell car wrong, WKAR.org, and you can hear what I'm doing on Saturdays and Sundays at 6 o'clock as well.
And there could be an occasional Bill Harley tune in there. You never know.
Well, I'll tell you what, I just remembered one thing I want to thank Bill for is a record I play all the time, which is Bill Harley presents I'm Gonna Let It Shine, that is a masterpiece of a record from singers that are friends of mine, singers that I've admired, but all these great civil rights songs. That's a great record, Bill. I'm glad you took the time to put that together.
Yeah, that was just, I was lucky to be there.
In fact, I'm having lunch tomorrow with Reggie Harris. I'll say hello for you.
Oh, where are you? Okay, that's right. I know, because Reggie's over there in Ann Arbor a lot.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I got to catch up with Reg. Yeah, the Reggie, that was the first place. Actually, we had worked, I can't remember. We worked in the Clearwater, and I don't know if it was before or after that I called him up, him and Kim, and asked them to sing on that recording. Yeah.
But I play that one all the time. It's
great to hear. Yeah.
All right. So, Matt, you got a song for us?
Sure. We're all just walking each other home. Isn't that a great line? I wasn't sure who said that. It's been attributed to a lot of different people, but you said it was Ram Dass that said that?
Ram Dass, although some people said that he might have gotten it from Rumi. So, which would make sense. It would be something Rumi would have written.
I first heard it from the wonderful author Anne Lamott, who wrote that great book Bird by Bird. I think that's where I first came and encountered it. But anyway, here's a song I wrote as part of my I write a lot of agnostic gospel songs, it seems, and that sort of reminded me of one of those. Kim and I wrote this as kind of like an agnostic gospel quartet, but since there's only 2 of us here, you're going to have to fill in the rest, you guys. If you're on mute, there's a lot of repeating lines in this song. If you know anything about me, when you come to see me in concert, you'll be singing. So sing with us, if you will. Wrote the song at my grandmother's funeral, actually. I was the singer at the funeral, because when you're the folk singer in the family, you're the funeral singer and the wedding singer and the birthday singer and the anniversary singer. It's one of our honors as singers. But I wasn't writing songs back then. It was a beautiful celebration. She lived a long life. I looked out into the congregation, the many, many people who gathered to be there with her, and I could see my grandma's love in every single one of them. And I thought to myself at that time, one way to live forever is to love as much as you can while you're alive, and then your love becomes a legacy. And then about 10 years later, this song popped into my head. I'll build from the lessons I learned in my youth. How will I leave and open my eyes and my heart to the truth? That's how I'll leave this earth. How will I leave? How will I leave this earth? When it comes my time to go, how will they measure my worth? I will live on, and those that I touched while I lived in this journey of life from my death to my birth. That's how I'll leave this earth. It's choice and not chance that has brought me along. How will I leave? And showed me the difference between right and wrong. That's how I'll leave this earth. How will I leave? How will will I leave this earth? When it comes my time to go, how will they measure my worth? I will live on. Those that I touched while I lived, in this journey of life from my death to my birth, that's how I'll leave this earth. Some say we'll live on up in heaven above. How will I leave? I will live on through the ones that I loved. That's how I'll leave this earth. Last time. How will I leave? How will I leave this earth? When it comes my time to go, how will they measure my worth? I will live on. Those that I touched while I lived, in this journey of life from my death to my birth, that's how I'll leave this earth. In this journey of life from my death to my birth, that's how I'll leave this earth.
Awesome.
Beautiful, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we got a real power lunch going on tomorrow. I can't wait for this. I'm going to have lunch with Reggie, with my friend Robert Jones, who, Bill, you may know from the Storytelling
I just
World.
worked with Robert. I'm going to work him again at the end of the month. Yeah.
And then we're just throwing Josh White Jr. in there just to round it all off.
Oh,
so
say hi to all of them for me.
I'm going to secretly record this.
I just had a great time with Robert. That's wonderful. It's great.
Yeah, that's a good bunch out there, man. I can't wait to get back out there. So there's a possibility that me and Matt might be doing a show out there. We're not sure exactly, but look for that Saturday. What is it, the 4th? Possibly something near Detroit. You know, if the world is still spinning at that point. We'll see. Right? So
it's in the works, yep.
Yeah, so one more time from Matt, and we'll go around one more time. And Kim as well. Beautiful harmonies there, Kim. All right, Bill Harley, let's talk about your book. It's called Now You Say Yes. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, it just came out in August. You know, I'm thinking about this book. I just started another one. I just remember reading a quote by Annie Dillard. She said, "Writing a novel is like sitting up with a sick friend and hoping they don't die."
Oh man, you have no idea how bad his
Dr. E.L. Doctorow said, "Writing a novel is like driving across the country at 20 miles an hour with the headlights barely working. Like you can just see barely what's ahead of you, and you're just trying to do that." So yeah, this is not gonna. Here's my book. Yeah, it's you know, the marketing world is very confusing. This might be a middle grade novel or it might be a YA novel. They don't quite know where to fit its. They say 10 to 14-year-olds, but I kind of wrote it for myself. It's about a girl who's 15, and because I try to write from my own experience. She lives in Los Angeles. She's adopted into a family out of the foster care system, so she's got a lot of baggage, and she's got a younger brother who her family had after they adopted her, who's on the autism spectrum, and their mother dies because all great children's literature begins with the parents out of the picture. I'm being flip, but that's actually, I should not do that. So she doesn't know where they're going to go, and so she takes her mom's car. She's 15 years old. She doesn't have a license, and she convinces her brother to get in the car with her, and they drive across the country to hope that their grandmother, from whom they are estranged for a particular reason, takes them in. And it just so happens, Don White, that her grandmother lives in Lynn, Massachusetts.
Oh,
it's just one of those things.
I think I used to drink with her grandma.
You might well have. She was an Irish girl from Boston, and Doherty is her name, in case you know her. And so it's really a cross-country odyssey. And I had the idea for a number of years, and then I actually drove across the country, and it just so happened, and it became a huge part of the plot, that she drives across the country the week of the Great American Eclipse in 2017. If you remember that it kind of crossed the country from Oregon to South Carolina, and it's the way she gets her brother into the car. Her brother, who's like high functioning autism, is completely fascinated with astronomy, and he doesn't want to go. When she says, "We'll see the eclipse," he's in the car. And so they take the road trip across the country, but they have no money, and they are not supposed to be driving the car. So it was simple. It only took 6 or 7 years to get the book together.
Yeah.
And now it's out, and people seem to like it. I'm very proud of it. It's a good read.
How many books have you written in your life, Bill?
Maybe, well, ones that have been published. I've read more than have been published. It's a dirty business. Actually, what I say is, like, take the music industry and put it on slow motion, and everything that happens to you in the music industry happens to you in the publishing world. It just happens to you slower. But I think I've got about 15 books.
Wow.
Published, mostly for kids.
That's quite an accomplishment, honestly. So congratulations. I hope it goes well, for you. And do you want to do another tune for us, or?
I do, and I guess I should. I did the kind of sublime, and I guess I should do the ridiculous. You're supposed to go from the ridiculous to the sublime, but I was talking with Don about this. I most of my work, if people don't know, is with kids and families, and I do a lot of work in schools. Over the years, although lately, for some reason, for the past 2 years, my work has disappeared. Although I'm going to a school tomorrow, so that's great. But anyway, I was doing a songwriting workshop with a bunch of 5th graders, and I brainstorm titles. I say, like, let's just brainstorm a bunch of song titles, and then the group will choose a song title, and we'll write the song based on that title. And as it always happened, some kid said, I got one. And I said, what? I said, my dog ate my homework. And everybody said, yeah. And I said, no. And it's very rare that I insert myself into this process. And they said, why not? I said, because I hear that all the time. That's boring. And they said, no, it's not. I said, no, it's completely expected. It happens every time. And they said, well, what would you do? I mean, what do you mean? I said, well, you have to, like, figure out how to turn it on its head to make it more interesting. And so I did write this song, and I was halfway through it, and I realized it began to sound like a Springsteen song. So it's my son Dylan, who's also a musician, does Springsteen much better than I do. But anyway, so here we go. It's called My Homework Ate My Dog. You say pass your homework up, and that's just what I like to do. I know you've seen it all before, but I've got something really new. Some kid says their pencil of theirs got lost. Some kid says their pencil broke. I've got one you haven't heard. I promise you that it's no joke. My homework ate my dog. Now he's gone and I'm so sad. One bite and he was done. The sweetest pet I ever had. Who knew homework could do that? I swear to you it's true that my homework ate my dog. I did it right when I got home. I checked the paper once, and then a dog came in and saw it there. It sniffed the paper once, and then the homework opened up its mouth with giant teeth both north and south. It took a bite, then it swallowed. The head went first, the tail just followed. My homework ate my dog. I watched it as it chewed and slurped. Down the hatch old Rover went. Then it gave a great big burp. It was an awful scene. That homework sure was mean. My homework ate my dog. I know you want to call my home, see if it's all true, but that won't really help at all. It ain't my parents too. Hey! I'd call the cops down. This is so stupid. I called the cops, dialed 911. They came too late. The damage done. They took my homework right away. It broke the law. It had to pay. My homework didn't shed a tear. They sentenced it to 20 years. Now my homework rots in jail. See, I don't have it. Please don't fail me. My homework ate my dog. Now he's gone, I'm feeling sad. One bite and he was done. The sweetest pet I've ever had. I know it's kind of gory. Still, it's a good story. My homework ate. My homework ate. My homework ate my dog. Okay, all right.
Bravo.
That is great.
You totally took in Bruce there.
This is our job.
We got some teachers here who are loving this. Sarah,
This is our
Marlene,
job.
what do you think?
How did the kids react to you turning it around on them?
They loved it. I had to go back to that class to sing it because, it took me a while to ring it. And I don't do it a lot, but I just remember one school in Connecticut I did, and there was like 400 or 500 kids. And it was just one of those things. When I got to the first, I didn't tell them what the song was called. When I got to the first chorus, kids were like, if I'd only had the E Street Band with me, and Clarence Clement played the saxophone.
You had the fifth grade Bruce Springsteen experience.
Yeah, the wall of sound attaching. It's just me and a little pissant guitar,
Oh, man. All right, one more time for Bill Hardy. That was awesome, Bill. Thank you. All right, Ellie, I want you to get all it, take a stick and rattle all the hamsters in your intranet and get them running around in a circle as fast as they can and see what we can do here. All right, 1, 2, 3. Try to get a poem in with your Wi-Fi. 1, 2, 3, go.
We got the Ethernet plugged in. We're doing our best. Okay, I gotta go. Gotta make sure we get it in. Depression built herself a home in my body like she belongs here. She is wrong. I am full of fire and full of burning, and I'll be damned before she takes hold of me. I will be untamed by her, a wild animal in the moonlight, shaking and unbridled and full of so much and so many. Depression did not rip through me. She did not leave me eviscerated, mangled, and bloody. She's not brave like that. She doesn't fight like that. She is a coward, slowly brushing her fingers across my bones until my joints rust, and she has me trapped and immovable, so I can't fight back when she decides it's time to finally sink her claws of ice into my body. She set up camp in me, who was made with joy and made out of joy, and I'm surrounded by joy. Depression built herself a home in a woman of brilliance. Her mistake.
Yeah! Whoa!
Yeah! Nice.
Wow.
Great.
That was some kind of rocking poem right
Yeah.
there.
Love that ending.
Thank you.
That was great.
Wow.
Very nice.
Ellie, that was just beautiful. Honestly, you know, your future is good. You know, you know. Wow. So one more time around. Let's hear it one more time for Ellie, who's got her internet going. She's got the hamsters rolling.
Woo! Yeah.
Yay, Ellie! Yay, hamsters!
All right, Matt. So Matt and Kim, let me talk to Kim for a minute. So Kim, how long have you been married to this palooka?
35 years?
Is it going to work out? What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, you're pretty close to being able to say, okay, all right. Yeah. And where did you grow up? In Ohio? Is that right?
No, we both grew up in Plymouth together.
Really? Did you know each other
Michigan.
back in the day, but in high school and all that?
Yep.
Wow.
We met in ninth grade.
Really? Did you have your eye on them?
She didn't have the foresight to date me till I was 21, but we were friends all through high school.
Well, she wanted you to be a man first, you know. She wanted you to be able to vote. So that's, you know, Terry and I have known each other since probably junior high school as well, too. Yeah. Weird to be in this very small group of like married people who go back to high school together, right? Go to junior high school.
Yeah.
And what about music for you? What did you like listen to before you got polluted by the folk singer here?
I listened to, you know, everything. Growing up in Detroit, we had CKLW radio, you know, transistor radios, and then all the way through rock and, you know, I listened to everything, rock and roll, classical, jazz. I love music of all kinds. So,
you know, there's an amphitheater, you know, not too far from our house that used to be called Pine Knob. Now it's called Nintendo Palace or something. DTE Energy Theater. But I just remember Kim and our friends we would get passes. We would buy these passes, and we would see 25 concerts a summer at this place, from the Beach Boys, the Chicago, to Jackson Brown. You know, it's just like,
was playing.
Yeah, whatever was there, we'd go see.
Well, you guys are great together. I think it's going to work out. And Kim, you have
COVID could have been the end of it all for us. We spent
my daughter is paralegal for divorce lawyers. They can't keep up with it, honestly. COVID was the best thing ever happened for their business, honestly. Like, they're backlogged for years now. Like,
we figured somebody would die or we'd start singing a lot more together, and luckily she chose singing because it wasn't my time to die.
Well, Kim, you've got a beautiful voice, and you guys sing great together. I love you so much, both of you, and I look forward to seeing you in Detroit, you know, as they say, God willing. So why don't you start the end of this thing here for us?
Sure. You guys are singing all these happy, peppy songs about depression and stuff. I wouldn't be a folk singer if I didn't do at least one song about death, so here you go. This is from the great repertoire of the Carter family, and I just love singing this with Kim, so I think that's why we chose it.
To
Canaan land I'm on my way, where the soul of man never dies. My darkest night will turn to day, where the soul of man never dies. Dear friends, there'll be no sad farewells, there'll be no tear-dimmed eyes, where all is peace and joy and love, and the soul of man never dies. A love light beams across the foam, where the soul of man never dies. It shines to light the shores of home, where the soul of man never dies. Dear friends, there'll be no sad farewells, there'll be no tear-dimmed eyes, where all is peace and joy and love, and the soul of man never dies. A rose is blooming there for me, where the soul of man never dies. And I will spend eternity where the soul of man never dies. Dear friends, there'll be no sad farewells, there'll be no tear-dimmed eyes, where all is peace and joy and love, and the soul of man never dies. I'm on my way to that fair land where the soul of man never dies. And there will be no parting there where the soul of man never dies. Dear friends, there'll be no sad farewells, there'll be no tear-dimmed eyes, where all is peace and joy and love, and the soul of man never dies.
Woo!
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Woo! Very nice.
Thank you so much.
That was really nicely done. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, man. So, Matt, do you have anything coming up online, or can people come to your events, or what's going on?
You know, the big one I always push in the fall is I'm going to be doing my 30th year in a row at the Ark in Ann Arbor, which is our really big concert venue here. And I've always, this will be my 30th anniversary concert on the day after Thanksgiving. It's really become a tradition for families, and it's really been so much fun. And couldn't do it with an audience last year, but this year we're going to do it with an audience. And so that would be the main one, the day after Thanksgiving. If you're anywhere near Ann Arbor, Michigan, come on into the Ark.
All right. Buy your plane tickets now, everybody.
That's right.
All right. Thanks a lot, you guys. Matt, I can't wait to see you, honestly. So, one more time for these guys, please. Everybody.
Yeah.
Matt, do you know, are they streaming that? Are they going to stream that?
I don't know.
I think the Ark does stream.
Are they streaming now? I know they you can still watch the one I did last year. You can also see the concert I did on Martin Luther King Day with Robert Jones. You know, Robert and I have been playing together for 35 years as well.
Wow.
And so the concert we did there as well, you can stream from the Ark website now as well. So
okay. Well, look forward to being in person with you pretty soon, you guys. All
Me
right.
too, Don. We'll have a blast.
All right, man. Be well. Thanks for being here. Okay, Bill Harley, on your mark, get set, go, storyteller, go.
It's nice. I gotta tell you, Matt, I have like a 50-minute magnum opus about growing up in Indianapolis and getting a huge radio actually stolen from my brother, and discovering CKLW.
That's right.
And the voice.
That was
of
that was
Motown,
from Windsor, Ontario. It wasn't even.
Yeah, and the effect that it had on me. So this is a song. Oh man, I wrote this song a million years ago, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. And my friend Len Cabral, I was with him a little while ago. He said, "Man, that's my favorite song of yours." So I was kind of forgotten it. I didn't know what I was doing. I managed to write this, so it's nice to see you all. It's nice to see Don, an amazing person, and Matt and Ellie. I knew Ellie when she was like this big. so. I know a man, his life is broken, scattered in pieces on the road. Friends gathered round and kind words were spoken. They brought that poor boy home. Who's not been the prodigal son? Who's not been the wayward child? And who's not traveled the wrong road and lost who they were for a while? You got to turn
turn to each other. And all of the hope you got is gone. Turn, turn, turn to each other, looking for strength to carry on. You could read all the confusion written across her soul. She tried to tell them just who she was, and they swallowed that poor girl whole. Oh, but for the strength of her sisters who picked her up and helped her along. Now she's standing on her own 2 feet, and you should hear her singing her own song. She sings you, turn, turn, turn to each other. All of the hope you got is gone. Turn, turn, turn to each other, looking for the strength to carry on. Everybody wants to be so strong. Everybody wants to show they can do it alone. Nobody ever lets on. They can't make it on their own. But listen to me now, no matter how high you climb, there'll always be a way you can fall. No matter how hard you hide, the truth is gonna find you when it finally comes to call. And all the gold and all the power can't keep it from falling apart. There's nothing left you in the final hour but the kindness of the human heart. You've got to turn, turn, turn to each other. And all of the hope you got is gone. Turn, turn, turn to each other, looking for strength to carry. Turn, turn, turn to each other. All of the hope you got is gone. Turn, turn, turn to each other, looking for strength to carry on.
Excellent, Bill.
That was great. That was great.
Thank you. It's really nice to be with you. Sing songs I don't get to sing very much. So that's
Right.
Yeah.
Bill, I'm a big fan. Really, I love what you're doing from the top to the bottom. The kids stuff, the adult stuff, the writing, the prose, the songs, everything. I'm a huge fan. Those of you that are gonna live long enough for next Father's Day, there's a possibility that me, Bill Harley, and Bill Lepp will be playing somewhere near Vegas. And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, I guess.
Near Vegas, not
near
Death Valley.
Death Valley. Like
Will you guys be at the International House of Pancakes? Or where are you gonna...
Slow down, Sparky. You know, maybe Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not sure. But Bill Lepp, Bill Harley, Don White, a show called Father's Days. I hope it works out that we can do it. Get your plane tickets now. Bill, good luck with the book. Good luck with everything, and I'll be in touch. I'll be texting you as my team is giving me, you know. But
I know. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yeah. All right.
Tomorrow night.
All right. So
all right,
Ellie,
guys, take care.
All right. Thanks, everybody. So Ellie, you want to take us home?
To hear you, Ellie. Good job, buddy.
Ellie's gonna take us home, I think. So, Ellie, I want to say something to you before we. Just want to say that as you get better at this, as you keep on doing and learning, it's really one of the things that happens as you figure out your own life is that you create language that other people can use. Like that poem about depression, I'm sure there's other people your age and my age and every age that will benefit from the fact that you worked this out and gave the world language to say it in a unique way. And it's one of the great rewards of getting good at this. You know, you start by figuring out how to express what's going on in your mind, but then it becomes a gift to everybody after. So I expect great things from you. I don't doubt for a minute that they'll all come. I'm so glad that we were here for your unveiling, as it were. So why don't you give us some words to live by?
Thank you. Okay. Sorry, my phone just turned off. Okay. I feel good on nights that I know I did my job well. Not because my job is particularly important or because I base myself on some sort of monetary gain, but because I know I made people happy. And I feel good when it rains because it reminds me where I am. And I feel good when I make people laugh because it reminds me why I am, because I think, and because I do, and because why not, and because I am a loud and immovable machine, and because people are dying every day and I'm not. And I guess that's some kind of miracle on its own. But if it isn't, I'm going to make it one. And because I'm growing in all sorts of directions. I feel good when I write words down. My mind is a fruit, perennial, and I don't know if the soil that its roots lie in is my body or actual soil on the ground. Or maybe I am actually soil on the ground, because I will be one day. And maybe then my mind will become a fruit in a literal sense, maybe a plum or a nectarine, and I will feel good because I'm making people happy. But my best friend asked me once how I keep myself from relying on other people for happiness. And so far, this poem has been about other people's happiness in relation to me. And I don't know how I don't rely on other people's happiness, but I know that I don't, because I am people enough. If I make me happy, I am making others happy, and I can be my own dang fruit. I feel good about bones, mine specifically. I like that they keep me standing. I like that they'll be here when I am not thinking, and therefore when I am not. I like that I find them in the forest and in the desert, though not mine, I think, still similar enough to remind me that I am one with any being, that we are all here doing our best, and that we are all our own fruits. An orchard is the earth if you look from the ground up. I like looking from the ground up. I like looking from the soil.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Beautiful, Ellie.
Beautiful.
Very, very nice.
Great words to cook by, El.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a heck of a night, man. It's been great. So thanks. I'm just going to do this quick one, and then we're gone. Thanks, Bill Harley. Thanks, Matt Watroba. Thanks, Ellie Lepp. Let's give everybody a nice big round of applause, everyone.
Yo, everybody. Great.
Yeah.
Nice job, everybody.
Well done. Thank you.
So thanks. All right, this is just a quick one. Thanks, Sarah. I love you, everybody. You know, everybody. Thank you so much, Ellie. This meant a lot to me to just to see you perform and watch people respond to it. It just was very heartwarming for me. So I wish you nothing but the best. Much love to you and your family, and we'll see you soon. Hard, dark, cold world with everybody in their cars in a million-mile traffic jam trying to get to their jobs. You there with your bright light, hiding in your little room with your guitar and your pencil, writing your secret tune. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. In the first part, if you learn what you love to do. In the middle part, if you do it a lot, till it becomes a part of you. In the last part, you can give the world the best work of your life. And then you lay down with a big smile, tell this old world good night. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. hard, dark, cold world with everybody in their cars in a million-mile traffic jam trying to get to their jobs. We need you to come on down from your little room. Bring your bright light to the dark night. Play us your secret tune. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. Go light the world on fire. Go on and light the world on fire. Good night, Eleanor.
Hey, Don.
Back it up. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Honey.
How old is she?
Oh man, that kid is too much. All right, so we don't just hit the button and like have everybody wash out and remember how alone they are in the world. We just say goodbye one at a time, just sort of disappear individually. It's more gentler on the spirit. Good night, everyone. I'm coming to do this next week too, so we'll see you then.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Sarah. Good night, Neil.